Well, first of all, can you just briefly say, for those who somehow missed the months of celebration and the big hurrah itself, what this was, and also why this is a political event?
In fact, what I'm going to some extent, argue that it was not political, but in an interesting way. So I'll come back to that. But what is this? Mukesh Ambani is India's richest man, one of the richest people in the world. He runs what is often called an omnibus conglomerate. No, it's often called oil to internet conglomerates, because they started off with oil, but now they do everything from running retail stores in India, doing online commerce, and most prominently over the last few years, running Jio, which is initially an internet service provider and a mobile telephone provider, but now wants to be a super app on the likes of your WeChats in China and so on. But all of that has made him a national champion of India's industry in the way that you've had them in further East Asian countries. And it's believed that the Indian government treats the Reliance Group, which is Mukesh Ambani's group, as a national champion, in the sense of building them up. What the event in question is the wedding of his son, Anant Ambani, which has played out over all of our Instagram screens and Twitter over the last 5 months. They've had no shortage of pre-wedding events, which is an Indian thing, but we don't do it over 5 months in exotic locales around the world. And then more specifically this week, the 6-day wedding, which reportedly cost $600 million, featured the likes of the Kardashians and Rihanna, Tony Blair and Boris Johnson showing up, folks from across the global spectrum on this. Its relevance to politics is quite interesting in that over the last 4 or 5 years, particularly the Congress under Rahul Gandhi's leadership has made the perceived proximity of Modi to India's top business houses, Ambani's being one of them, as one of the big attack points to take on the BJP. And so Rahul Gandhi will often speak of the Adani Ambani government, the 2A government, and that sort of thing, suggesting crony capitalism, suggesting that they are the ones who benefit in a deeply unequal society where growth is all going to them. We spoke about this earlier on the podcast, even once, where Modi himself made in one instance made a reference to Adani and Ambani over the course of this election campaign, suggesting that they were the ones supporting the Congress, and he never went back to that. But it's widely and closely associated with this idea of crony capitalism in India. And so this could have potentially been a really complex political moment. The Ambanis are, of course, on very good terms with leaders across the political spectrum, as you have to be as you automatically are when you are as rich as they are, and also as you also have to be to run big conglomerates in Indian states. He invited practically everyone, and folks, of course, Modi turned up. Of course, a lot of ruling party and ruling alliance leaders turned up, but so did a lot of opposition leaders, including from the India grouping, Akhilesh Yadav from UP, for example, was there, as well as Lalu Prasad Yadav in Bihar. The Gandhis pointedly decided not to turn up. Mukesh Ambani sent an invitation to Sonia Gandhi and the family. And Sonia Gandhi sent a message of congratulations to the newlyweds. But Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi, his sister, and his mother, Sonia Gandhi, they pointedly decided not to turn up, presumably fearing that it could dilute their attacks on the BJP and the question of crony capitalism, but also just generally, make it much harder for them to run this platform over time. So, in a sense, it was not political because people aren't making a big deal about it. There aren't big attacks on it, despite it being an obscene amount of money in a deeply unequal country. And so there has been commentary from observers about it, but politicians have chosen not to really make big reference to it. there's some vague suggestion that Rahul Gandhi did at some speech, but it's not really become very evident that that's the case. But the Gandhis made a small point, let's say, in not turning up at something that has all the who's who of India at it.